Today, we take a different approach. In the session, instead of me instantaneously starting to shuffle cards and right out of bed, starting to interpreting the message according to the images that I foresee, I will start by simply sitting in the energy. And feeling you. Before I hear what you say to me with symbols, yesterday I had an instant nighttime message on the bridge between the seen and the unseen once again, and I can still relate that. I can sense that it is the apparent energy, it is the dominant energy in the field. This is again a transformation process that is taking a little bit longer than expected, I presume. This is fine-tuning, hence the energy seems subtle, not as destructive and apparent as previous times. You've been through this before. You are constantly going through such transformations for a long time. And around this era of your life, you are now more comfortable with these kind of transformations because you are able to recognize it. So it's not that much of a shock to you any longer. And because of this time, it is not as devastating. It is the subtlest kind you've experienced so far. But it is taking a little bit longer because before the rug has been pulled out of under your feet all of a sudden, and you had this painful tower moments, and everything was instantly transformed. And the following process was more like you adapting to this sudden change. So it felt more like a outside force that is putting you into your place in your game of transcendence, which is the game. Ultimately it's a game, but not any, like everyone is experiencing it in this kind of clear style, let's just say, but yours is plainly, purely the game of transcendence. You don't sugarcoat it. into do not disturb mode as I am channeling, but obviously I've forgotten it, and text appeared. So, and my cat is meowing, so there are a lot of distractions. And let me just fix that. Yes. Something, not something, but many things. Now I'll start shuffling as I am talking to you. There is this path that you are taking. You try to distract yourself from taking this path for a long time, but these days, like all your life, actually anything happened to get you to this spot, out of your control, out of your will most times. Situations. And finally you are ready to walk this path. And strangely, and this is relatively new, right after that last tower moment that you've been through, which was a few months ago, you went into this final stage of transformation of this era, of your own evolution. And without you really noticing, consciously you found yourself deliberately walking towards this path that you've been trying to avoid all your life. And strangely, as you decided upon that, this mic is really giving me hard times. Sorry, you decided on walking that path and walking towards it consciously. Suddenly, crazy amounts of distractions maybe, but distractions, started coming down your way. For example, just like as we started on this tarot session, as we focus and as we come into a certain center point of depth in this session, a notification suddenly appears, or my cat started meowing and trying to interact, so that you lose your focus, is an energy that is repeating itself these days with you and your transformation. It is a test of energy. It is trying to confirm that how well invested you are in this statement consciously. Because from this point on in your life, any action you are to take has to be conscious. Before, you could fake it. Your mind could be elsewhere. Trying to understand if there's a better way for my mind to I hope this will work. Yes, before you could be in your mind, distant to your own experience and get away with it. Well, that era is over. Whatever you do, it has to be interesting. I've been experiencing this with the energy of the last reading that I have posted. This nighttime reading, like the word is literally almost out of my mouth, like I can sense it, but something stops me. And there is this smoky feeling, sense of deep silence, as if it is trying to make itself present, acknowledged. There is something in you that you cannot put out in the form of words. And you know what I'm talking about. The moment you feel you sense that void. It is a form of void. It is nothingness, but it is empty but not empty. It is deep but not deep. It is there, but at the same time it is not there. Lean into it. Learn to be comfortable in it, and be aware of it constantly. Practice it, because there will be moments, decision points, and instances in your life that are key to your narrative, your own evolution, where you sense this feeling inside, and you are expected to act according to that sense you will feel. This will be your compass to lead you to the right places and times in your game. Therefore, this is a subtle kind of clue, sense, The mindscape easily distracts you from this sense. It is on top of it putting stuff, like thoughts and all those kind of images and whatsoever, and dreams, and then you, because they are formed, and this is unformed, hence this sense of the void, these forms are easily censoring this intuition you have, and It is key that you learn to be comfortable in the sense and being able to hear it out when the times are ripe. And if you get easily distracted in your mindscapes, you will not be able to hear the door knocking. It is a gentle knock. You came to a decision point that we covered in our previous sessions. The door is open and you walk through it. You've walked past it. Right now, what is happening is your tools, your body, your mind, your sense of space and time, whatever, your timeline, all those, they're tools, they're not you, are adjusting according to your current choice point, your current energy. And right now it is a slow energy, but you are really, really this close to be completely out of the timeline you were in and in the new timeline, like the gates are open, but it is almost closed, and it will be like in this instant, like suddenly it is closed and you'll be completely out of this liminal space and be in the new dimension. Therefore, the moment the gate is completely closed, everything will be steadfast. And you will not have the time and space to collect your mind, focus it on something, and intentionally trying to make a decision and then walk that path at your own pace. It will be steadfast, instant, faster than death. And it is a compassionate energy that will lead you, but it will feel like void. If you carefully sense this void, you will sense a subtle energy of compassion carrying you, out in the air. But you cannot give it form. If you give it form, you lose it. So you have to find a way to stay in this awareness without giving it form. Because the moment you give it form, you limit it. You know what it's like to limit yourself into forms. You've been doing this for far too long. And it is not covering your needs any longer. And this choice point you went through requires constant shapeshift. Therefore, you cannot ground yourself in shapes. You need to find something else. Which is not a specific shape, and maybe it's not even a thing, because that will be a shape. So that you can stay in this dimension. Ten of coins, 10 of wands. This is amazing energy. It is strong. Amazing level of transformation and wealth. Guided by grace. So all you need to do is be fully present. But really understand what it means to be present. As who are you present? As what? In what shape or form are you present? You gotta ask yourself. You really need to get a sense of this cycle, continuous, constant cycle of duality and existence. The way you perceive duality clearly transforms your choice points, because usually when we have a choice, it is between two things, and those things are most of the time, almost all, in contrast to each other, in contrary to each other. But this is a typical kind of depiction. But you are at this stage that where your choice points will be subtler in contrast, and you need to be able to understand these contradictions from the source point. You cannot just look at two faces, masks painted, one is white and one is black, and say like, okay, so this is black and this is white, and they're in contrast to each other, and since this one is black and this one is white, the white must be good and the black must be bad, so I need to choose the white one. No, maybe the white one is the bad one, if this choice is about the good and the evil, which is one of the most typical ethical dualities. And you cannot just look at a mask and say like, oh, okay, this is a human's face, I don't know, you see the point. The illusion around you has leveled up in complexity because you leveled up in simplicity, let's just say. The more you shed your skin, the subtler the illusion becomes. Be aware of that. You are guided. There is nothing for you to be afraid of. All you need to be aware of is that to be aware. Actually, to be aware. Stay aware. What does it mean to be aware? Who are you really? Where is your mind at that instant? Your actions, are they intended or are they just casual? Is that a form of action that is random, truly? Like, where do you put randomness in your perspective? Be skeptical, but not in the sense of doubt in the heart. Be certain in your heart, be aware Be in your heart space. Stay there. Be true to yourself. Do not lose your truth. But in your intellectual inspections, be skeptical. There are things for you to see further in this life that cannot be seen. So, like, until this point, the unknown was presenting itself to you, okay? You first needed to acknowledge the reality of the unseen, you know, that the unseen might be actually intellectual and conscious. So the unseen needed to present itself to you to be able to connect and communicate you on a waking life level, not just a dream state. So you needed to acknowledge its presence, and it is not pure randomness, but it is actually intended, which was what you've been going through. Now that you acknowledged the presence of conscious you know your shadow is conscious, you know the unseen is conscious, you know it is not random occurrences, but it is actually in synchronicity, and it is a form of a dialogue both ways, not just from you to the dust in the air, but it is actually talking back at you, and it is doing it in a form that is encrypted. So it's two ways. Now that this acknowledgement is over, the next chapter is on learning each other's language to talk more direct and efficiently. Three of Swords. I need more cards to clarify this Three of Swords, but Six of Cups. Just the Moon. Death. Five of Swords. This will be the fourth reading that I will post on this channel. The moon energy is here. Death energy was. These were previously on the other readings as well. And the Three of Swords energy, and also the Five of Swords. So it's been taking long. The energy is almost in a time capsule right now. You know, like that I mentioned earlier here, that you are in some sort of liminal space, you know, like you are from this point to this point, metaphorically transcending. It is a point of death. But the moment the gates are closed, that it is completely complete. I mean, yes, it's funny with these things. Everything will be really fast, you know, like fire energy, and blowing you away, taking you from a certain reality to another, which will be beautiful reality, because it's going to be your Ten of Pentacles right here. lower chakras, there was a blockage there. A few places actually, I guess. Mostly all the lower chakras from 1 to 3. 1, 2, 3. They were closed almost all your life. Which explains the distractions you had throughout your life. You were always distracted. You have a vivid mind, but you were never there, and you had really hard time grounding yourself to your current reality in all those times. It is because for some reason or the other, I don't know, but you incarnated here on this life missing a few chakras open. You know, they were closed. Of course, our current Western world does not understand these kind of, does not accept actually these kind of speculations. So you were seemingly a healthy child, and you were smart, and no one questioned anything, might be more than your own choice, your own carelessness. You know, they blamed you for like you are purposefully being careless, but to be honest with you, you were simply unconsciously floating through currents all your life, and rarely you were choosing things. Things were choosing you. The almost like metaphorical destiny was playing tricks on you. You never knew what was wrong with you, but you knew that somehow you were misplaced because all your lower chakras were closed. You were almost like a phantom among humans. The only exception was that they could hear you and speak to you and touch you. You know, like figuratively, you had a body, but what did you sense of it? It is a question. You're coming back to life. Yes, this is a death, but it is death in reverse. This is rebirth. But it's still death. Because they're actually the same thing. It doesn't matter whether you're going through the underworld or coming to the upper world. It's pretty much the same thing. You know, it's like this card, this cushion. Let's look at it this way. This is the infinity loop. Imagine this as a black hole and this is a white hole, for example, you know. In the center, they have their own unique ways of duality, so yin and yang in the center. And this world cannot see this one, and this one cannot see this one, because they are each other's reflection, complementary to each other. And this world A knows world B as the other side, and the world B knows the world A as the other side, and they're both speculating that on the other side there is nothingness, or there's pure darkness, or there's, I don't know, ghosts, but that is wrong. It is wrong. Um, the only thing there is that they are each other's perfect reflection, and even that contrast you see from this perspective is not apparent, because they're each of these worlds are absolute in their own sense. They're complete, they're full circles, so they're not each other's dual negative, you know? They're pretty much the same, actually. So it doesn't matter whether you're rebirthing or dying. And obviously this needed to come out somehow. Take what resonates and leave the rest, as we say. Because you are in this liminal space, normally these two borders cannot see each other, you know, and two dimensions cannot reach out to each other. Only sometimes around some little timescape of transcendence, the veil is thin. So then perhaps then around those times you get to see some things, and other you sees you, maybe, you know what I'm talking about. The unseen being visible, which was the last two readings energy, you know, the moon looking back at you, the obscurity, the unknownness, the unborn is looking back at you. You realizing that it is actually conscious, it's not like it exists in the non-existence, if that means anything to you. It sure does to me, but the system governs itself by making these shifts subtle and making them apparent as choice points, perspective changes. Five of Swords, you change your perspective, you make a constant decision, which is 5, and the Hierophant is also 5, and they're right underneath each other in relation to each other. 5-5, we saw the energy of 5 so apparent in the last reading too. Five is change and transformation, so death is change and transformation. Yes, here it is the number 13, and the 13 also reduces to 4, so it is fundamentally transforming. There's a fundamental level to it. The dogma is breaking also. I see another message here. The first message is you are guided by grace, sure, so no need to be afraid. You're not going to get lost in some kind of black hole and never to be found. You are always at your center point, and believe me or not, even if you want it or not, you're not going anywhere. But there's a second message. The second message is that your dogma is completely transforming, which we saw on the other reading as well. This message is repeating itself, and this heartbreak thing. So maybe you're a little stuck, like, you know what you've been going through and you're willing, but your mind constantly presenting you back with the painful memories and your disappointments, and how you never find what you hoped for from the outer world in regards to love. a mind trick to keep you at bay from transcending. As long as the gates are open, you will be tested with this kind of energy, because you are in the middle, you're in the liminal space. So you need to keep your awareness present intentionally during this time of transcendence while the gates are open. The more present you are in each moment, the faster and less painful this rebirth, this whole transformation will go. So like this is like both death here and 10 of Wands, which is the Phoenix energy, you know, the rebirth. They're together here. It's just not one or the other. They are together. You are understanding this. You're creating the laws of existence. I know this is an intense kind of energy. Sometimes you feel like you're going mad, but you won't. The only reason you are able to comprehend this kind of knowledge is because you are capable of comprehending this knowledge. Your mind is not going to break, so ease out a little bit. It's not going to bite. Death has no sting, not really. But you are stinging yourself like a scorpion. Okay. Yes. Let's see. The sun is setting. Let me check the light of the camera so that you can see me clearly. Okay, the lighting is not so bad, I guess. Yes. Sorry, my cat is a little chatty today. Did I? Probably I mentioned before, I have three pets, 2 cats and a dog. All of them are right now very hyperactive. I am an intuitive reader, and I interpret anything as a sign, so them being this agitated or hyperactive might mean something to you, and only you know what it is, truly, if it resonates with you. So I will not try to what's the word? There, I lost the word again. There's something. You are willing to tell something to someone, but somehow you never find the right words in the right moments. Jesus, what is this? Where did we go from here? All of a sudden you're just like, okay, or death. Okay, we have the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Vessels, Queen of Cups here. And back of the deck energy. the Five of Swords is repeating itself, see? So, I don't know, this energy is really screaming at you. Change your perspective, change your perspective. Do something. On love, this is on unity, you know, the Four of Wands, the great marriage of the spirit. Here we see listening to your own heart, Queen of Cups, being your own intuitive, King of Cups together. We see marriage, and we have the Lady of Coins giving flowers to the King of Vessels, but the king does not see the lady, but it's rather fixated on the Queen of Vessels because she is his counterpart. Focus on the idea of Four of Wands, which is marriage, spiritual union, also chemical wedding, you know, in alchemy. This is Alchemical Tarot, so but the energy of Five of Swords is apparent. So yes, the Hanged Man energy, you're at the spot, you're right in the middle of this whole transcendence. I'll pull more cards. Knight of Swords killing the dragon again. You've killed the dragon already. What is this then? This energy repeating itself all the time. I don't understand it. You haven't killed it on your mind. You are resisting. Each time you kill it, then you revoke it. That's why the Five of Swords energy and the Hangman is so apparent, and we've been through this in cycles many times since I started reading for you. Why are you doing that to yourself? Let me see, let me clarify this. This the only blockage between the chemical wedding of unification of the masculine and the feminine, you know, of hearts, you know, like the vessels, king and the queen, you know, like the intuition coming together. This alchemical process complete, you're dying or rebirthing, and all that is this resistance because you are capable of not just once killing the dragon, but you have killed it several times just for the fun of it, and still yet letting it revive and present itself to your to your awareness, you know? Why are you doing that to yourself? The Empress. Interesting. Interesting spirit. Why the Empress? I mean, the Empress is a complete energy, you know, like doesn't need any kind of tricks like this. And the Sun, Jesus. What are you doing? The Sun is here, the Empress is seeing the Sun, and we have the chemical wedding, and we have the unification of two sides, masculine and the feminine, and I like the depiction of a whale on this King of Vessels too, by the way, because whales represent the ancient knowledge, wisdom of the ages, of this earth. They are the gatekeepers of your soul, your soul's knowledge, your soul's wisdom. So the whale is filling your cup. And you are looking at the filled cup you have, which is within you, and there is a form of an alchemical process of wedding here with yourself and your soul, self, your true existence. You are complete there. You killed your mind. Conditioners in your mind. Mind is your tool now. You change your perspective. But why this energy is repeating itself? You are the Empress and you see the sun. Let me focus on this Lady of Course. Ace of Wands, the same energy. On an energetic level, you are starting anew. You're transforming, like the Ten of Wands was here, which is the 10 energies, a simultaneous energy. The end and the beginning are in the same spot, so the one is also the same, so they are the same energy. This is happening simultaneously. What is it has to do with the Lady of Coins, though? I see. Okay, this is about your own balance of giving and taking. You are learning to be fair on transferring the energy. Yeah. Therefore, you simulate these unpleasant experiences over and over again so that you can understand the subtleties in them, And see the things that you haven't seen before while you were going through such experiences. Because it's like watching a movie over and over again and realizing some different details that you haven't realized before when you were watching it for the first time, but you were actually trying to analyze this whole situation. But the reason this is a trap is because you are the Empress and you are the Sun. You are the Sun. And there is no way that moon is going to cast a shadow on you. You can stare into the moon's darkness, but it will not kill your light. It is impossible, physically impossible, okay? Because the moon reflects the light that it absorbed from the sun, We all know that, right? You are the source. You are the empress. You know, you are the center point in the middle of the Trinity knot. And that's why you're dying right now, because you are shedding of skin. Like I mentioned before here, this snake reminded me of that metaphor. Because that skin is outdated, okay? It's you cannot contain this kind of level of awareness and consciousness in that skin. It is impossible. You have to shed it. Therefore, you're going through this death, and while you're going through this death, since there is an active flow of energy, and it is kind of also here we see Jesus, here and here we see the active movement of energy, and it is pretty intense because it is really close to the center, and now you're shedding the skin that you're trying to give a sense to it by analyzing it, trying to analyze it intellectually, which is unnecessary use of energy, because it's not going to get you anywhere. This kind of knowledge is not the knowledge you can interpret intellectually. So simulating your memories of pain and trying to analyze it according to your frontal cortex is justice is in vain. Don't do it. It's keeping you trapped in a loop and making it harder for you to complete the transcendence. All you have to do is look just straight into one's eyes. From your heart. And you will find your so-called justice. Okay. Eight of Swords. Contemplation is not helping you right now. Get away from the Swords energy for a while. Be in the heart energy center. There. Ground your fire with your water. Ground your fire energy, your will, your spirit energy. By using your water, your emotions, using your emotional intellect. If you are going to speculate on your on any form of intellect, like your contemplation skills, use the emotional intellect as your reference points. Do not include your mind, your swords in it, Seven of Pentacles. You're deliberately focused on seeing material payment, outcomes of your spiritual work instantly. You're being a little impatient. You are getting there. The Ten of Pentacles is guaranteed, but you are right now in the state of the Seven of Pentacles, which is spiritually you are there. You've completed all the steps. These are also symbolism of chakras, and we said that these first three chakras were missing. almost all your life, and now they are open. So, hooray! Celebrate that and be a little patient. You are complete. But materialistically, the world reflecting you in this material sense is still have a little work to do, because you're still in this very transcendence process that you've been going through for, like, I don't know, the last bit, at least for the last 3 months. I mean, starting from start of October until right now, and it is gonna keep on going until February, end of February, and the Wheel of Fortune. See the 10 energy here? The transformative energy. This energy you've been going through for all this time is not a simple little energy that you cannot be impatient with this. This is grand. Okay, this is great transformation. It is a great death in your life, and a great rebirth, and its effects on your life will be massive. Therefore, it's taking a bit long. Sorry. Seven of Swords. Where did that come from? Okay. I will change my deck. And I will get confirmation cards for this Seven of Swords, just because it is a little different than the energy we've been focusing on here for a while. And then I will get a closing message and let you go, because, you know, it's time. Let's just say. Clarifying energy on Seven of Swords, the Star. I had a sudden urge to read from the book. Moon. The Sun. 19, 18. Okay, so it must be around here. Very strange. I haven't been opening this book for a while, and there was this marker that I forgot in it, and it's exactly the page that we require. Funny. Maybe I'll read the whole thing. This card is attributed to the letter H, as has been explained elsewhere. It refers to the zodiacal sign of Aquarius. Okay, Aquarius, I don't know. The water bearer. The water is your emotions, so. The picture represents Nuit, Our Lady of the Stars. For the full meaning of this sentence, it is necessary to understand the first chapter of the Book of the Law. Lady of the Stars is here, you see, and she holds the cup from pouring it from here and collecting it from there, and there is a center point, almost like a planet formation, and here we have a star, and we see images like the spirals of a void or a black hole or a central point of spiraling, So, let me see. The figure of the goddess is shown in manifestation, that is, not as the surrounding space of heaven, shown in Atsu 20, where she is the pure philosophical idea, continues in omniform. Pure philosophical idea, continues in omniform, is significant. In this card, she is definitely personified as a human-seeming figure. She is represented as bearing two cups, one golden, held high above her head, from which she pours water upon it. These cups resembles breasts, as it is written, the milk of the stars from her paps. Yeah, the milk of the stars from her paps. Oh my god. This is funny. Alright. So maybe you shouldn't take your old transformation so seriously and have a little fun about it. Another notification. Why am I doing not disturb this? Sorry. But, anything is a message right now. So don't take yourself too seriously, laugh a bit. Where did that serious energy come from anyways? Thank you, Pops. The universe is here resolved into the ultimate elements. One is tempted to quote from the vision of the lake. Pascany, nothingness with twinkles, but what twinkles? Behind the figure, what are these things on the brackets really? It's so funny. Vision of the lake, Pascany, and then nothingness with twinkles, but what twinkles? Ooh, I like this. Someone's meeting the unseen. Behind the figure of the goddess is the celestial globe. Like celestial bodies, the planets are called also celestial globe. Yes. It's a bitter choice of word, thank you. Most prominent among its features is the seven-pointed star of Venus. So this is the Venus. As if declaring the principal characteristic of her nature to be love. Which is taking me to this, this whole love situationship, the marriage and the king of vessels and queen of vessels, that whole dynamic. Being love itself, perhaps, is your current focus, how to be love without objectifying it. So, I am starting from the start of the last sentence. Most prominent among its features is the seven-pointed star of Venus, as if declaring the principal characteristics of her nature to be love. So see again, chapter 1. from the golden cup, she pours this eternal water, which is also milk and oil and blood, upon her own head, indicating the eternal renewal of the categories. Renewal of the categories, eternal renewal of the categories. The way you categorize things in your mind is significantly changing, I sense. Maybe that's why the Five of Swords is so apparent, because it is about categorizing things, or not categorizing things deliberately, not objectifying things. Maybe totally not focusing on things, you know? Renewal of the categories, the inexhaustible possibilities of existence. Exactly, inexhaustible possibilities of existence. Existence is infinite. And that's the destiny reference I mentioned in the beginning. You are almost like carried away unwillingly by destiny, and that is changing because you are realizing that there is no such thing as destiny. The only thing that was seem as destiny is your own perception, your own perspective, your own stubbornness in being loyal to certain principles. Like, yes, this is the truth of this kind of matter, so I should act this way, but it is only in your mind. It wasn't unreal, and you realize the Hierophant, the dogma, that it is only dogma, and the dogma that you adopted without even realizing, like at a certain young age, you know, like without even realizing who you are. Yeah, most people never realize who they are, but nonetheless. What you thought as destiny was just simply the dogma of your mind, and it was so old and so rooted that you didn't even realize that it is a extension to your existence. You thought that you existed with that it is fundamental to your existence, which isn't. This probably is about your identity, actually. The word I, or who, or what. Anyways, I am continuing. The left hand, lowered, holds a silver cup from which also she pours the immortal liquor of her life. This liquor is the Amrita of the Indian philosophers, the Nepenthe and Ambrosia of the Greeks, the Alkahest and universal medicine of the alchemists, the blood of the Grail, or rather the nectar, which is the mother of that blood. She pours upon the junction of land and water. This water is the water of the great sea of Baina, in the manifestation of Nui, on the lower plane. The water is the water of the great sea of Baina. Oh, I see. In the manifestation of Nui on the lower plane. It's the energy of the unseen that you are sensing. It is presenting in, it is manifesting in your reality. You're sensing it. Maybe the last reading that I've been doing, it felt so like dense, you know, that density is like the density of water, as if you were in underwater. That is the unknown poking at you. She is the great mother, it says. So who is representing itself from the unknown to you is the great mother. It's grace itself. It is nothing to be afraid of. And Grace is showing you the real liar. The Seven of Swords, the liar in you, the liar inherent in you, because you thought that this was you all along, and then you realize, no, it isn't. This is an extension. This is a mask, just like other thought forms, that it is. You are subtler than that. For the great sea is upon the shore of the fertile earth, as represented by the roses in the right-hand corner of the picture. Great sea upon the shore of the fertile earth, as represented by the roses in the right-hand corner of the picture. Oh my God. They are so loud right now, my pets, and it is killing me. I'm telling you, it's killing me. Could you please be little silent, please? Hey! I am sorry. I normally try not to tell them anything and just let them be, but try not to manipulate the whole situation. But I mean, this was tiresome. Anyways. And corner of the fertile earth represented by the roses. Yes, okay, so it's also fertility. This great sea is your wheel of fortune. It's fertile ground, so you're going on to this new dimension where it is more fertile than before. It's not dead lands any longer. That's why it was like that. I interpret it as, now that I see, is as coming back from death, not dying, you know, like it's that. Because it was on fertile ground, it was stiff and still, and it was dead, let's just say. And right now you were, the Empress energy, you are going to, where is my Empress? Where's my Empress? Oh, there she is. Yes. You're going on fertile ground, finally. It's been too long, that's why you're impatient, obviously. But hang in there. Okay, but between sea and land is the abyss. And this is the picture. Both between sea and land is the abyss. The void. You are in the abyss. You are in the liminal space. You're about to go to land. You are in water, in the sea right now. You are almost on the land. You're about to step on it. But right now you're in the abyss. And this is hidden by the clouds. Oh my God, the clouds I witnessed today, they were so distinctive that it caught my attention. I was like, these clouds were like almost like full of meaning, but what did I want to say? Couldn't really interpret that. And now I see. The clouds are hiding the abyss, which whirl as a development of her hair. My hair, the trees of eternity. Wonderful. And mysterious, I love it. My hair, the trees of eternity. I'll be stopping there. Beautiful knowledge. Wow. I was gonna get a few clarifying cards, but what we just read and the way it felt as I am interpreting the signs gave me this sense of completeness. So I believe that's it, and thank you for sharing this session with me. I hope that it'll help you out and ease your heart through this transformation, and well, if you like my interpretations, please like and subscribe. It would help me a great deal to continue on reading for you. And I love you, and hope to see you soon. Bye.